What's going on, everyone? Non-TCG here, and I want to spend a little bit of time today talking about how I think about pre-orders on both sides. But just a couple quick points. Surging Sparks is at $220 per box, um, per booster box as we sit right now. The 151 booster bundles from Walmart have started to arrive, so they're down at 57-ish and change, with a lot arriving this week. Again, as I mentioned, if you're looking to pick some 151 up, now is the time because there's a ton of supply coming to market. um, and for Walmart, with the $38.83 mislabeled poster collection, which is 3 packs in the poster, uh, Walmart has now corrected the picture. They've corrected the price, so it's now $15.80 some cents, 90 some cents, whatever. But I did buy the maximum, just one order of 12 of the poster collection when it was at $38.83, and it does show up as one item purchased with the corrected picture and the corrected price. So since it's a pre-order, their policy is that I'm protected, so I would anticipate they're just going to send 12 of the poster collection at the $15 and change price. So that's a big one. So moving on, let's talk about pre-orders. And if you're a buyer, obviously you want to pre-order items at as cheap possible and make sure you get the items. And it's a little bit of a game theory here, right? So up until the product's released, you're gambling, right? And there hasn't been a scenario in TCGs in a long time where if you don't pre-order, you just simply don't get the product. Nowadays, if you pre-order or if you don't pre-order, you'll certainly get the product. You'll find the product. It just won't be as cheap as what you would normally have gotten it if you pre-ordered. So let's take something like Prismatic Evolutions, and I want to touch on Innistrad Remastered in a little bit. So if I'm trying to buy Prismatic Evolutions and I want to pre-order, I'm going to go to a couple different sites. I'm going to pre-order, ideally not at $94.99, which, by the way, this is Fortune Fire Gaming. This is like one of the bargain basement stores. So you can tell how terrible the allocations are, and we kind of know why, because there have been so many hundreds of thousands of these dumped between Walmart, Best Buy, GameStop, Target. But I'm going to paste orders, place orders with multiple stores just to make sure that I get something, right? Which is fine. Now, if the price goes up, there's a chance that the store cancels and you get screwed. And that's a scenario that I want to spend some time talking about just conceptually on the seller side. So if I'm selling the product and something as volatile as Prismatic Evolutions, you go back a year ago, you just, as a store, you wanted to get the pre-sales because you wanted to turn the cash, you wanted the liquidity. But it's a different game now. So first of all, I need to know what my allocation is. A lot of these stores selling these, they have no idea what their allocation is. Now, some of them have a good idea of what the absolute minimum is that they're going to get, and that's fine. It's not my business to critique their business per se. But in a scenario like this, as the price ratchets up and we find out what's in the set, what's not in the set, if there's a rumor that Master Balls are in the set. If they are, then the thing's going to go through the roof. If they're not in the set, the thing may take a little bit of a dive. I find that really hard to believe. But I'm effectively laying odds that the price is going to be somewhat stagnant, or I'm happy with the price. The buyer is looking for the best price possible. So if the box goes down between the time that the customer pre-orders and release comes out, as a store, of course, you're going to hold them to the pre-order, and that customer is going to get fucked. Now, to what extent? It depends on the product. Now, if the price of the product goes up and I'm a store and I'm scummy, I'm going to cancel the order. I'm going to resell it. I'm going to make up a million excuses. Or I'm going to honor the pre-sale like a reputable store. And then me as a store, I'm giving up profit for the certainty of a sale at a certain price. So me as a store, I don't really get screwed, but it's not the ideal situation. So what I do, and we're certainly going to do this for all of the current sets. We don't offer pre-sales until A, we know what the allocation is. So we know we have the product. And again, the allocation can change up until, the product's in your dock. You never know, especially today when there's literally so much money in these going back and forth. You don't know what you don't know. And I don't want to say that times are different, but this is a different iteration of, a crazy time in the industry, whether you think it's a mania, it's a bubble, if it's just organic, not really relevant for the discussion. So the first thing we want to do is we want to make sure we know what the allocation is. So that's for Prismatic Evolutions, for all the different SKUs. That's for Blooming Waters. That's for Innistrad Remastered, and we'll talk about that one in a second here, because I think that's an even more extreme example, which is fascinating. And then the second thing is I don't want to start pre-selling until we know what's in the set. And we don't want to start pre-selling until really the product hits the market. So there's folks who want the product they want the product early. They're not necessarily our intended customers because they really don't care at any price. They get the product. Our goal is to provide value to our customers, and getting the product, making sure they have the product. That's kind of a check the box. It's like you have a job, you show up to work every day. It's kind of, I shouldn't say everybody does that. Most people do that, but it's really to add a little bit of a discounted value to our loyal customers. And to do that, the product has to be out, at least close to release, and there has to be a little bit of normalcy in the price. And once there is a generally accepted value and price to the product, call it intrinsic value, what we do is we take a look at, this is the price, we'll back it off 10%, 15%, and then we'll run a sale. Now, we recently started the Discord, so, kind of think that's a good way to limit the number of people in there, because quite honestly, if Prismatic Evolutions comes out at $100 and we offer pre-sales at $85 per, I would imagine we're going to sell through, 300 or 400 of these, whatever we get. Maybe it's 200, 250, who knows, relatively quickly. But in that scenario, we as a seller know we feel good about the transaction. We know we're providing value to the customers, and the customers realize that they're getting a 10 or 15% discount to market in a product that, whether it's going up or going down at that point in time, they feel like they're getting real value. And then from our perspective, we're obviously paying the distributor price. So we're still going to make a reasonably healthy profit, be able to churn the inventory, and, quite honestly, continue to solicit and build our customer base in the product. So something like Prismatic Evolutions, this could trade up to 150, 125, 150 at release. There's no master balls. It may go backwards a little bit, but I can't imagine, because people are going to rip this thing like crazy. So let's go to Magic real quick. And let's go to Innistrad Remastered. This is the collector booster box. So this set is probably the most volatile product from a potential perspective out there. So everything that they've put out in the set so far is kind of garbage, in my view. I mean, I thought the same for Foundations also. I mean, I have a stack of Alpha Land of War Elves. I don't need a brand new, shiny anime version that I quite honestly don't give two shits about and can't read the text box. But I'm a little old school like that. But, Snapcaster Mage kind of sucks. Eliana kind of sucks. Edgar Markov, whatever. So I've seen nothing in the box that gets me excited. Now we see here may include serialized cards. Well, that's great. It may also be a complete bag of shit. We just don't know at this point. So if I were to pre-sell these, and honestly, I don't have any allocation yet. I should get one tomorrow. But some of the distributors just closed open orders on Friday or today. I think one of them was. So until we know what's in the set and we have some idea of where this is going, Rudy put out a post today that said anything under 400 is good because there's almost none of these. I have no idea what I'm getting. I have no idea what this is going to look like. Why would, if I sell these at $290, my cost basis is what, $230, $220, depending on the distributor. I'll make decent money, but I'm ultimately risking pissing off a customer because I don't know if this is a $400 box. I don't know if this is a $200 box. So it's just a no-win situation. to put these up for sale. So, when we think about pre-sales, us as a reputable store trying to help friends. Well, I should say friends, but our loyal customers. We want to provide that 10 to 15% discount to market, but we need the market to be something that is reasonably steady, so the customer doesn't get screwed, and then we don't get screwed or whatever. So anyway, I know there's a lot of talk about canceling orders, especially with prismatic evolutions and things like that. But just wanted to do a video on this. It's been a lot of folks talking about it, and I just wanted to share kind of my feelings. So like, subscribe, join the Discord. We have another sale coming up. Still trying to figure out what exactly I want to put out there, because we have a bunch of products that I think would do well. But we are going into Christmas, and it's a tough time for a lot of people with holidays. So anyway, guys, have a good night. See ya.